If your mornings feel slower, if your energy just doesn't carry you through the day the way it used to, if intimacy feels more like a challenge than a joy, let me stop you right here. You are not alone. And more importantly, this does not have to be your new normal. So many men over 60 believe that fatigue, low drive, and slowing down are just an unavoidable part of aging. Society tells you, well, you're getting older, that's just how it is. But that's not the full truth. The truth is that in most cases, your body isn't broken. What's really happening is that you're running low on a few critical nutrients that once kept your system firing on all cylinders. At Everyday Ageless, we've spent years helping men reclaim their energy, vitality, and confidence without relying on expensive prescriptions or invasive procedures. What we've discovered is simple. When you give your body the right building blocks, it remembers how to thrive no matter your age. I've seen it over and over again. Men in their 60s who thought their best days were behind them suddenly find themselves walking with more strength, engaging more deeply in relationships, and even rediscovering their passion for intimacy. And all because they addressed deficiencies they didn't even know they had. That's why today's video is so important. We're going to break down 3 essential vitamins that most men over 60 are quietly missing. Vitamins that could be the key to bringing back your energy, performance, and confidence. These aren't trendy supplements. They're fundamental nutrients your body has depended on your entire life, and when you restore them, everything starts to click back into place. But before we get started, I want to ask you a quick question. Where are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments below. It's always inspiring to see how far this message travels, and I read every single one of your comments. Also, if this message already resonates with you, if you care about staying strong, vital, and connected as you age, then do me a favor right now, hit that subscribe button, and turn on the notification bell. At Everyday Ageless, we share powerful science-backed tips every single week to help men over 60 live life with more strength, energy, and confidence, and I don't want you to miss a single one. Now stay with me until the very end of this video, because not only will I explain these 3 powerhouse vitamins, I'll also reveal the biggest mistake most men make when taking supplements and why it stops them from seeing results. A simple daily routine you can start tonight to keep your energy steady, your circulation strong, and your hormones balanced. So if you're ready to take back control of your energy and performance, let's dive in. And trust me, what you'll learn today could change the way you feel for the rest of your life. When it comes to men's health over 60, one of the most underestimated yet absolutely essential nutrients is vitamin D. You've probably heard it called the sunshine vitamin. Maybe you think of it as something kids need for strong bones or something doctors mention in passing during routine checkups. But for men in their later years, vitamin D is far more than a bone health nutrient. It's a game changer, one that directly influences energy, blood flow, and even your confidence as a man. Let me explain why. As we age, our bodies naturally produce less vitamin D. When you were younger, you probably got more sun exposure without even thinking about it. Playing sports outside, working in the yard, or simply spending weekends in the sunshine, your body absorbed ultraviolet light and turned it into vitamin D effortlessly. But over the decades, habits change. You spend more time indoors, skin becomes less efficient at making vitamin D, and in many cases, medications or chronic conditions interfere with absorption. What's left is a slow, quiet deficiency that chips away at your vitality without you realizing it. The hidden role of vitamin D in circulation. Why does this matter so much? Because vitamin D plays a critical role in blood circulation. Think about it. Your heart pumps life-giving blood through your body, delivering oxygen and nutrients to every muscle, organ, and yes, even the areas most responsible for intimacy and performance. Without healthy blood flow, energy dwindles, stamina suffers, and confidence erodes. Vitamin D helps regulate nitric oxide, a compound that relaxes and opens blood vessels. Imagine your blood vessels as a series of highways. When they're open and smooth, blood flows freely to every destination. But when those pathways narrow, clog, or stiffen, circulation slows down, and so do you. Low vitamin D makes this problem worse, leaving you with less oxygen delivery, less endurance, and more fatigue. This is why so many men feel sluggish even after a full night's sleep. It's not always about rest. Sometimes it's about whether your body even has the nutrients to fuel proper circulation in the first place. I'll share a story that illustrates this perfectly. Samuel was a 65-year-old retired engineer. On paper, he looked healthy. He didn't smoke, he stayed moderately active, and he ate what most people would consider a decent diet. But when he came into the clinic, he confessed something that weighed on him. "Doc," he said, "I still want to be close to my wife, but my body doesn't respond the way it used to. It's embarrassing, and I don't understand what's wrong with me." His words echoed what I've heard from countless men. Samuel didn't have a disease. He wasn't doing anything wrong, but he was missing something his body once had in abundance: vitamin D. We tested his levels, and sure enough, they were well below the healthy range. Rather than rushing to prescribe medication, we focused on replenishing his vitamin D naturally. A few simple adjustments made all the difference. Daily sunlight, just 15-20 minutes in the early morning sun, arms and face exposed. Dietary boost, adding salmon and fortified yogurt to his meals. Supplementation, a daily high-quality vitamin D3 supplement, the form best absorbed by the body. Within weeks, Samuel reported that his afternoon fatigue was easing. A few months later, he walked in with a smile and said, "I feel like myself again." His energy was stronger, his confidence was back, and his relationship with his wife felt alive again. This wasn't magic. This was biology, restored. How to know if you're low? Here's the tricky part. Many men don't realize they're deficient because the symptoms creep up slowly. Ask yourself these questions. Do you spend less time outdoors than you did when you were younger? Do you feel more sluggish, even when you sleep well? Do you have trouble maintaining energy and performance in moments that matter most? If you answered yes to any of these, low vitamin D might be playing a bigger role than you think. Simple ways to rebuild your levels. The good news? Boosting vitamin D doesn't have to be complicated. Start with small, consistent habits. Sunlight exposure. Aim for 15 to 20 minutes of natural morning sunlight daily. Food sources. Include fatty fish like salmon, tuna, or mackerel twice a week. Add vitamin D fortified milk, plant-based alternatives, or yogurt. Smart supplementation. If you live in a region with limited sunlight or it's wintertime, consider taking a vitamin D3 supplement. Unlike vitamin D2, D3 is more bioavailable and works better with your body. The key here is consistency. You can't undo a long-term deficiency with a single sunny day or one pill. Think of it like watering a plant. A steady supply is what brings it back to life. Why circulation matters more than you think. Here's the bigger picture. Circulation is the foundation for everything else. You could be eating the best diet in the world, exercising regularly, and sleeping well. But if your blood isn't moving properly, your muscles, brain, and reproductive system simply don't get what they need. Without circulation, energy doesn't reach where it should. Hormones don't stay balanced, and stamina declines. Vitamin D acts like the spark plug that ignites the whole system. It primes your body to respond the way it's supposed to. Strong, steady, and confident. For men over 60, vitamin D isn't optional, it's essential. When your levels are healthy, blood flows more freely, oxygen circulates efficiently, and your confidence returns. When they're low, you feel sluggish, unmotivated, and disconnected from the man you used to be. Samuel's story isn't unique. I've seen it countless times. Men who felt worn down by age come back to life simply by restoring this one nutrient. And while vitamin D alone won't solve every challenge, it lays the groundwork for everything else we'll cover. Because once circulation improves, your body is ready to use the energy and protection provided by the next two vitamins, B12 and E. If vitamin D is the spark plug that gets your circulation moving, then vitamin B12 is the ignition key that keeps your engine running. Without it, your body simply cannot turn food into fuel, And that means even if you eat a balanced diet, you may still be running on empty. Vitamin B12 is one of the most overlooked nutrients in men over 60. In younger years, your body absorbs it easily from foods like meat, eggs, and dairy. But as you age, your stomach produces less acid and fewer enzymes, making it harder to pull B12 from your food. The result? A slow, creeping deficiency that leaves you exhausted, foggy-headed, and struggling to perform, not just in the gym or the bedroom, but in everyday life. Why B12 matters so much? Vitamin B12 plays several roles that are critical for older men. Energy production. B12 is essential in the process that converts carbohydrates, fats, and proteins into usable energy. Without it, your meals never fully translate into stamina. Oxygen delivery. It helps produce healthy red blood cells, which carry oxygen to your muscles, brain, and reproductive system. Low B12 means less oxygen flow, which leads to fatigue and weakness. Brain function. B12 supports nerve health and mental sharpness. Deficiency can cause memory lapses, difficulty focusing, and that frustrating mental fog many men complain about. Mood and drive. Because B12 influences neurotransmitters, low levels can make you feel unmotivated, drained, or even depressed, emotions that feed into physical decline. So when men say, "I'm tired all the time, even after sleep," or "I just don't feel motivated anymore," one of the first things I think about is whether they're low in B12. Robert's story, from worn out to wide awake. Let me share a real example. Robert was a 71-year-old retired firefighter. Strong build, disciplined lifestyle, sharp mind. But when he came in for a consultation, he looked exhausted. "Doc," he told me, "I eat well, I sleep fine, but I feel like I'm dragging all day. My body feels heavy, my mind feels cloudy, and when it's time to be close with my wife, I just don't have it in me." Now, Robert wasn't lazy. He wasn't out of shape. He wasn't eating junk. His problem was hidden. His stomach wasn't absorbing vitamin B12 the way it used to. This is incredibly common in older men. Even if you eat meat and eggs daily, your body may not be able to extract enough B12 from them anymore. We tested his blood, and sure enough, his B12 levels were low. The solution was simple but life-changing. A high-quality B12 supplement in the form of methylcobalamin, which is easier for the body to use than the cheaper form called cyanocobalamin. Pairing his supplement with protein-rich breakfasts, like eggs and Greek yogurt, so his body had steady fuel. A short course of B12 injections to quickly restore his levels before transitioning to maintenance. Within a month, Robert's energy had shifted dramatically. He no longer nodded off in the afternoons. His mind felt clear and sharp again, and perhaps most importantly to him, he regained the drive and stamina to be fully present in his marriage. His words to me months later were unforgettable. "I didn't realize how much I'd slowed down until I got myself back." Signs you might be low on B12. So how do you know if you might be in the same boat? Here are some classic red flags of B12 deficiency in men over 60. Fatigue that doesn't go away with sleep. Brain fog, forgetfulness, or difficulty concentrating. Feeling out of breath after light activity. Weakness or sluggish muscles. Low motivation, low drive, or reduced interest in intimacy. If you check off more than one of these, there's a good chance your body is running low on B12. The science of why it declines. One reason B12 deficiency is so common is because absorption depends on something called intrinsic factor, a protein your stomach makes to help pull B12 from food. With age, production of intrinsic factor declines. Pair that with reduced stomach acid, and suddenly even a steak dinner can't deliver the B12 you need. That's why I've seen so many men who eat perfect diets still come up deficient. It's not always about what you eat, it's about what your body can use. How to restore your levels. The good news is that restoring B12 is straightforward when done correctly. Eat B12-rich foods like beef, liver, salmon, tuna, eggs, and dairy. If you're vegetarian or vegan, Opt for fortified cereals and plant-based milks. Use the right form of supplement. Look for methylcobalamin, not cyanocobalamin. The former is active and bioavailable. The latter is cheaper but less effective. Be consistent. Don't take it sporadically or switch brands constantly. Your body thrives on steady, reliable intake. Consider injections or high-dose supplements if your deficiency is severe. Always discuss this with a doctor before starting. Think of B12 like fuel for your car. If you put the wrong kind in or not enough, the engine sputters, slows, and eventually stalls. But when you give it the right fuel in the right amount, suddenly everything runs smoother. With healthy B12 levels, you don't just feel less tired. You feel awake, alive, and present. You have the energy to play with your grandkids, the stamina to enjoy walks without getting winded, and the clarity to engage fully in conversations. And yes, you regain the physical and mental drive for intimacy that many men quietly miss. But here's the most important part. B12 doesn't work in isolation. It works hand in hand with the other vitamins. Think of vitamin D opening the highways of circulation, while B12 fuels the car that drives on them. Together they create a foundation of energy and performance. Still, there's one more piece of the puzzle, a nutrient that protects your blood vessels, supports your testosterone, and guards against the invisible wear and tear of aging. Without it, the progress you make with vitamin D and B12 can stall. That nutrient is vitamin E, and it's where we'll go next. If vitamin D is the spark plug for circulation and vitamin B12 is the ignition key for energy, then vitamin E is the oil that keeps the entire engine running smoothly. Without it, even if your circulation is strong and your energy is high, wear and tear quietly accumulate in your body, slowing you down and dulling your drive. Most people think of vitamin E as that thing in skincare products or a nutrient for fertility, but the truth is much deeper. For men over 60, vitamin E is a silent protector, guarding your blood vessels, balancing your hormones, and keeping inflammation from quietly wearing away at your strength and confidence. Why vitamin E matters more than you think. Aging, at its core, is a process of oxidative stress. Every day your body creates free radicals, unstable molecules that damage cells and tissues. When you're young, your natural defenses are strong and you recover quickly. But as decades pass, oxidative stress builds up, stiffening blood vessels, lowering testosterone, and draining energy. Vitamin E is a powerful antioxidant. Think of it like a shield, intercepting that oxidative damage before it chips away at your vitality. For men over 60, that means healthier circulation. Blood vessels stay flexible, allowing oxygen-rich blood to flow easily. Hormonal support. Vitamin E helps protect the cells in your testes that produce testosterone. Without it, levels may drop faster. Reduced inflammation, less joint stiffness, faster recovery after activity, and a more resilient body overall. In other words, vitamin E doesn't just make you feel good in the short term. It preserves the machinery that keeps you vital for the long term. James's story. The missing piece. Take James, a 70-year-old retired pilot who came into the clinic. He was disciplined, still exercised 3 days a week, ate a careful diet, and avoided bad habits. But something was missing. "Doc," he told me, "I do everything right. I eat clean, I work out, I sleep well, but my drive is down. I don't bounce back like I used to. I'm slower, and I don't feel as sharp." His blood work looked solid in most areas. His vitamin D and B12 were at healthy levels because he'd already made those adjustments. But when we dug deeper, we found his vitamin E was low. This explained a lot. Without vitamin E's protection, oxidative stress had been gradually stiffening his blood vessels and dragging down his testosterone. The solution was straightforward but powerful. Adding a handful of almonds or sunflower seeds daily, drizzling olive oil on his salads instead of heavy dressings, incorporating spinach, avocado, and Swiss chard into weekly meals, supplementing with natural vitamin E as D-alpha-tocopherol, not the synthetic version. The change wasn't overnight, but within a few months James returned with renewed energy. His words stuck with me. "It's like the engine was fine, but the oil was dirty. Now everything runs smooth again." How vitamin E supports testosterone. One of the most important but overlooked roles of vitamin E is in testosterone support. Testosterone is not just about intimacy. It influences muscle strength, motivation, confidence, and even mental clarity. When oxidative stress builds up, it damages the Leydig cells in the testes, the very cells responsible for testosterone production. Vitamin E shields these cells, helping maintain healthier testosterone levels naturally. This is why men low in vitamin E often feel a double hit. Circulation slows and hormones decline. The result is less drive, less recovery, and less spark in everyday life. The silent decline. The challenge with vitamin E deficiency is that it doesn't hit all at once. It's not like breaking a bone or catching the flu. Instead, it creeps in over years. You might notice feeling slower to recover after exercise, a gradual drop in drive and motivation, more stiffness in joints and muscles, less sharpness and less enthusiasm for activities you once enjoyed. Many men chalk this up to just aging, but in reality they're feeling the effects of oxidative stress without enough vitamin E to counterbalance it. How to restore your vitamin E? Fortunately, building vitamin E back into your life is simple. Nuts and seeds. Almonds, sunflower seeds, and hazelnuts are excellent sources. Leafy greens, spinach, Swiss chard, and kale provide natural vitamin E. Healthy oils. Olive oil, sunflower oil, and wheat germ oil deliver concentrated amounts. Supplements. Choose natural vitamin E. Look for D-alpha tocopherol on the label. Avoid synthetic forms, D-L-alpha tocopherol, which your body doesn't use as effectively. The key is regular intake. Just as with vitamin D and B12, consistency matters far more than occasional bursts. The vitality triangle. Here's where everything comes together. Vitamin D opens your circulation highways. Vitamin B12 fuels your energy engine. Vitamin E protects and maintains the system, ensuring flexibility, hormonal balance, and long-term strength. I call this the vitality triangle. 3 nutrients that work in synergy, multiplying each other's effects. When one is missing, progress stalls. But when all 3 are present, men often feel as though their bodies finally remember how to work right. I once had a patient, Walter, a retired high school coach. He'd been on vitamin D for a while, then added B12 when fatigue set in. Both helped, but it wasn't until he introduced vitamin E that everything clicked. He came in beaming, saying, "Doc, I feel like I've got my rhythm back." That's the power of synergy. Together, these 3 vitamins don't just add benefits, they multiply them. For men over 60, vitamin E is the difference between feeling okay and truly feeling alive. It's not just about protecting against aging, it's about extending the strength, sharpness, and vitality you already have, so you can continue enjoying life with energy and confidence. And when paired with vitamin D and B12, it transforms into a powerful trio, a foundation that can restore circulation, fuel energy, and protect testosterone all at once. But here's the problem. Many men never see these benefits because they make a critical mistake. They buy the cheapest supplements, take them sporadically, and assume that's enough. In the next part, we'll talk about this mistake and how to avoid it, so you can make sure your body actually uses these nutrients the way it's supposed to. We've talked about vitamin D, the spark plug for circulation. We've covered vitamin B12, the ignition key for energy. And we've looked at vitamin E, the protector that guards your blood vessels and hormones. Together, these 3 nutrients form what I call the vitality triangle: circulation, energy, and protection, working hand in hand. But here's the truth. Most men over 60 never fully feel the benefits of this triangle. Why? Because they make a few critical mistakes that quietly sabotage their results. If you're watching this, I want you to avoid those pitfalls and instead step into the full strength of what these nutrients can do for you. The common mistakes most men make: buying the wrong form of supplements. Not all vitamins are created equal. Cheap bottles from the drugstore often contain forms your body can't absorb well. For example, many men take vitamin D2 instead of D3, cyanocobalamin instead of methylcobalamin, or synthetic vitamin E instead of natural. The label may look fine, but your body struggles to use these forms. It's like filling your gas tank with water. It looks full, but you're not going anywhere. This is the big one. Men start strong, a week or two of daily supplements or diet changes, then forget, get busy or take them sporadically. But nutrients don't work like painkillers. They don't deliver results from one dose. They work by building steady reserves in your body. Miss too many days, and you never get over the hump where energy and performance stabilize. 3. Relying on supplements alone. Supplements are powerful, but they're not meant to replace smart habits. You can't skip sunlight, eat junk food, avoid activity, and expect capsules to save you. The real power comes when supplements work with lifestyle. Sunlight plus vitamin D3, protein plus B12, healthy oils plus vitamin E. That's when you see transformation. 4. Ignoring the bigger picture. Some men focus only on one vitamin because they read an article or heard a friend mention it. They load up on vitamin D but skip B12, or they try B12 shots without protecting their vessels with vitamin E. Without balance, results stall. The body is a system. Each nutrient supports the others, and when you put all three together, that's when the magic happens. The fix, a simple daily routine. Now that you know the mistakes, here's the antidote. A simple daily plan you can actually stick with. I've used this exact routine with countless men in their 60s, 70s, and beyond. Men who wanted to feel strong, sharp, and confident without overcomplicating life. Morning. Hydrate and energize. Start your day with a full glass of water. Then take your vitamin B12 supplement with a protein-rich breakfast. Eggs, Greek yogurt, or even a smoothie with milk. This sets your energy foundation for the entire day. Late morning. Circulation boost. Step outside for 15-20 minutes of sunlight. Even if you can't get direct sun, the exposure signals your body to produce vitamin D. If it's winter or you live in a cloudy climate, take a vitamin D3 supplement with your breakfast. This fuels your circulation and gets blood moving where it matters most. Afternoon. Protection and hormones. With lunch or as a snack, grab a handful of almonds or sunflower seeds. Drizzle olive oil on your salad or veggies. Add a serving of spinach or avocado to your plate. These are natural, rich sources of vitamin E, protecting your blood vessels and keeping testosterone supported. Evening. Consistency check. Before bed, take a moment to reflect. Did I get my B12, my D, and my E today? Don't aim for perfection, aim for consistency. Over weeks and months, these steady inputs build reserves that make a real difference in how you feel. That's it. No complicated pill schedules, no long list of supplements, no extreme diets. Just 3 nutrients, in the right forms, taken at the right times, every day. What you gain when you commit. Here's what happens when you follow this plan. Your circulation improves, making you feel stronger and more confident. Your energy levels rise, so afternoons don't drag, and evenings don't feel like a struggle. Your mental clarity sharpens, helping you stay engaged in conversations and decisions. Your drive and motivation return, in every sense of the word. Your recovery improves, so activity feels rewarding instead of exhausting. And most importantly, you regain a sense of control over your health. You no longer feel like aging is happening to you. Instead, you feel like you're actively shaping how you age. Now, I want to leave you with something powerful. It is not too late. I don't care if you're 62, 72, or 82. Your body is capable of remarkable recovery when you give it what it needs. I've sat across from men who thought their vitality was gone forever. I've watched their eyes light up again when energy returned, when confidence grew, when intimacy felt alive once more. The 3 vitamins we've talked about, D, B12, and E, are not just letters on a label. They're tools. Tools that help you reclaim strength, rebuild stamina, and reconnect with the parts of life that make it worth living. But here's the key. Knowledge alone changes nothing. Action does. You can let this video end and file it away in the back of your mind, or you can take one step today. A walk in the morning sun, a handful of almonds, a quality supplement, one choice at a time, building toward a stronger, more vital version of yourself. You are not done yet, not even close. At Everyday Ageless, we believe men over 60 deserve to live with power, confidence, and connection. If this message spoke to you, do 2 things right now. 1. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell.
That way you'll never miss the science-backed tips we share every week to help you feel younger, stronger, and sharper. 2. Share this video with a friend, brother, or father who needs to hear it. Don't keep this knowledge to yourself. You could change someone's life by simply passing it on. And finally, drop a comment below with your city or country. I love reading where this community is watching from, and it's powerful to see men around the world standing up for their health together. You've already taken the first step by watching. The next step is yours. Let's keep building strength, energy, and vitality every single day at every single age.